Go, Blackburn Baptist, Dad. Yes, and do you know what happened at Blackburn Baptist? Yes, Dad, you met Mum. Yes, I met Mum, and do you know what the room that I met your mother was called? Yes, Dad, it was called Room 8 at Blackburn Baptist, Dad. Yes, but it wasn't just in Room 8. Do you know where in Room 8 it was? Yes, Dad, it was against the western wall in Blackburn Baptist, Dad. Yes, but she wasn't just sitting against the western wall at the Blackburn Baptist. Do you know what she was doing? Yes, Dad, she was knitting. I said yes. It's funny, because if you... I can take you to the western wall, the knitting wall, as I call it, at Blackburn Baptist. If you want to come, I'll take you afterwards. I'm taking the kids down there. It's Father's Day. I get to do whatever I want. Hey, kids, you know what I want to do for Father's Day? Yes, Dad. You want to go on a historical sites trip. There's that moment when I'm walking into room 8 and I see Sarah knitting. If you wind back a minute, one of my best mates says this to me. And we were doing a VCE study camp, so that kids could prep for their exams. So all the teachers who were part of the church had sort of given up a week of holidays to be able to help the kids with their VCE exams. But one of my best mates said to me, a minute before I entered room 8, he said to me, "Hey, Tim, do you want to go down to Forest Hill Chase and get a coffee?" And I always think my entire future hinged on whether I said yes or no to that cup of coffee. And as the angel appeared to me and said, I went, obviously prophetically, I went, no, I've had too much coffee today. I think I'll go over to room 8. I didn't know it was a tipping point of my life. I didn't know I was about to meet the most important person in my life. Knitting. I can take you down there afterwards. It'll be fantastic. But we don't notice these moments. But this moment for Joseph, it's a tipping point in his life. The legacy that he will live because at this moment. And what the angel says is this: the heart of the matter, what you need in this moment, Joseph, above everything else, is courage. And we know this to be true because if we're really going to live life, if we're going to be dads who live out the kind of being the fathers that we aspire to be, if we want to parent in a way that we aspire, parents, if we are going to really live this one life that we have to live and not just exist, this one life that we have to live, because this is true of every single one of us. There's not one of us for whom this one life is a dress rehearsal for another. If we're really going to live and not just exist in this one life we have to live, what we need above everything else is courage. We know this to be true. The highest value that we can have in life is courage. Because without courage, we will never live out any of the other values or virtues that we have. Every value decision we ever make in any domain of life will require of us a level of courage. And so this angel is talking to Joseph 2,000 years ago in the events surrounding the birth of the Messiah. But he's talking to you and he's talking to me. And there's 3 things that Joseph does in the wash-up of this story that we would do well to listen to and lean into. Just 3 simple things. You'll know what they are, but sometimes the important things in life bear repeating. But the story continues, and the first one is in verse 22 through 25. It says this: all this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. It's interesting, this refrain, and so this all took place to fulfill what the Lord had said. It's a refrain that works its way all the way through Matthew's gospel. It's one of the distinctives of his biography of Jesus' life. And the reason he has this recurring refrain is he wants us to understand that God's will is unfolding before people's eyes. And it's language that's designed to overwhelm us, but what it's also language not just to overwhelm us, it's language designed to call us to surrender the control of our lives. And the first thing, that if we're going to live courageous lives, we need to surrender control, or at least the myth of control, because there's not a one of us who actually has control. We do know that. It's the great tragedy of control freaks. You don't have control. You're not surrendering or sacrificing control. You know what you're surrendering or